To be really honest, we didn't know a great deal about the Green School, and Brianna came out supporting a friend that was going to the information evening, and I brought them out, and at the information evening we were just blown away just by the concepts, the different approach to schooling, just the nurturing environment. There was just so much that just grabbed our attention at the information evening. I hopped into the car afterwards and thought, I'm just not going to say anything and just see how Brianna felt about it. And the next 2 days she was just honest, like, I've just got to go to that school. And so that's where it started, and here we are.
I feel really good. Like, when I wasn't expecting to be that excited about it when I went to the information evening, because I didn't really know what to expect. But I don't know, like, now it just feels right. Like, it's first time school's felt good, and I'm excited to come to school.
So changes that I've noticed in Brianna are huge, and that's probably just made it such a worthwhile decision to make coming out here. When Brianna was at high school, it's a really hard thing to explain, but you could see that her light was just slowly going out. It was just getting dimmer. She was losing the spark in her personality, and she was in the first 11 for hockey. She was playing rep sports. She was, doing really well at school. It just slowly started to fade, I guess. Her enthusiasm for school started to wane. She just was becoming a duller version of Brianna. When we came out to the Green School information evening, we just knew that this is something that we had to go with. You could see how much it excited her, and so we were just like, we've got to go with this. And the change in her since she moved out here is all her vibrancy has come back, all her spark, all her sense of humour. She just has grown so much personally as well. So her personal growth, her maturity, her communication, her resilience, all those things, and we're only talking 6 months. Like, it just blows me away to think of how Brianna's going to be after 3 years of doing the diploma here. I just am so excited for her. I'm so excited for her future now.
I think probably the biggest thing is that you have a voice. You're doing things that interest you, like, I don't know, the teachers listen if you have a problem. They don't just, they don't just say, oh yeah, and then walk away. They say, like, oh, how can we change this?
The connection between the teachers and the students it's different from a conventional school, isn't it? Like, they have a good rapport with their teachers, most of them, in a conventional school. But out here, it's nurturing. They actually really care, and it comes through in the way they teach.
It's definitely a lot more practical and engaging, because you're not just sitting at a desk answering questions. You might be doing a project that you learn the same thing, but you are doing it in a way that you want to do it.
Gone are the days where she has to read that book, watch that movie, answer these questions and tick the box, study for the exam and make sure she learns that, but don't worry about learning anything else, because this is what you're going to need in the exam, so focus on that. All that is gone. Where here they pick up on their strengths, and they help them with the things they're struggling with, and they just build their strengths as well. And they can wrap their learning around things that are important to them, action projects, things that mean something to them. And so when they write an essay in English, it has a lot more depth to it, and I can see the changes in Brianna's English and her literacy skills and her maths, which she absolutely hated and still isn't that passionate about, is really supported here. So she's becoming more confident with things that she wasn't before.
Yeah, I feel like you're just developing like all the competencies, like critical thinking, thinking creatively, time management, are all things that you're just constantly going to build on for the rest of your life. So it just makes sense to be doing that rather than knowledge-based stuff. Like, you're still learning, but you're learning more relevant things. For my action project, I decided to do a colour run because a boy that I've grown up with, he's 6 now, and he has an 9-year-old sister. and he has epilepsy and was diagnosed when he was 4.
Yeah, 3 or 4.
Yeah, and he struggled with that his whole life, and I've seen him go through all of that, so I decided when we had the chance to do action projects that I would do a colour run to raise money, and during that process I learnt so much. Like, I went from at the start to not even wanting to make phone calls to companies to ask for sponsorships and that, to ringing over 20 people, not even having to worry about it, just doing it and then achieving so much. I had 4 businesses come forward and sponsor me. The event's hosting 150 people, but obviously due to COVID it was postponed till November now. It feels really good because it's not only doing something that I'm really passionate about and about helping someone that is really important to me and their family. It's just the feeling of feeling more confident myself, knowing that I can do things that push me out of my comfort zone. Well, just seeing the type of people that are in the community and what they've achieved, because during our fair share class, which is almost like business studies, we had a whole bunch of business people and entrepreneurs come in and talk to us, and most of them were from the community, and just meeting them and seeing what they've done, it's just amazing. I just feel a lot more motivated. When I was at my old school, I just felt I just have to get through these years, but now I'm yeah, I want to make the most of it. I want to learn a lot and I want to do well.
You're welcomed into the community and you're part of the community, and if you need support, they're there to help you with your child, whereas you don't feel that so much at the conventional schools. I know if Brianna's got an issue, I would have no reservations in going to the teachers and saying, hey, this has just happened this week and Brianna might need a little bit of support, and they just welcome you and make that happen. But I remember coming to my first assembly, and it was the first assembly that I'd been to for maybe 3 years, because you don't go to assemblies at high school. So I sat down and the whole environment just felt amazing. It was peaceful but vibrant and full of love and just full of energy. And the kids were singing the school songs, and you could see the high school kids, little primary 5-year-olds were coming up and they'd high-five them as they went past or whatever. There was this whole connection going on between the different age groups, and I just remember looking around and going, wow, they basically take your child and just grow them into this amazing person. So in 3 years' time, she's going to come out with so much more confidence and so more self-assured, and I just feel that her resilience and her problem solving and her skills when she goes out into the world are going to be tenfold compared to where she was.